Om Tare Tu Re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha Om Tare Tu Re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha Om Tare Tu Re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha Om Tare Tu Re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the Lama Live Livestream event. I'm Isabel, and I'm filling in for our very lovely Dreame from unceded Ohlone land in California, Oakland, California. And we have Bodhi behind the scenes here managing all of our tech details, tuning in from Colorado. So whether you are joining us live or later via recording, thank you so much. We are really happy that you have joined us. It's important for us to say that we at Tara Mandala are committed to being a welcoming, open, and safe community for practitioners and students of all cultures, races, religions, genders, sexual orientations, age, ability, and circumstances. We are approaching a really special time of the year. For any of you that aren't aware, it is almost Losar, which is the Tibetan New Year. And this year it falls on Saturday, February 10th. Our Tara Mandala staff and resident practitioners have all immersed themselves in retreat on the sacred land of the Tara Mandala Retreat Center in Colorado. Each year, the staff and residents go into a solo personal retreat several weeks before Losar and come out the day before. The retreat starts with a soak in the afternoon on the first day and ends with an early morning sung offering, star water ritual, and soak in the temple. Some of our non-residential staff are also doing their own retreats, like Dreame, who is on silent retreat in Poland. I hope you will join me in sending them blessings and gratitude for the retreat that they are accomplishing. We are very honored, and I am personally quite thrilled to have Lopön Ellen Booth Church as our guest teacher today. With 35 years of practice in Tibetan Buddhism, she's a Buddhist teacher, meditation coach, and former member of the Tara Mandala Board of Trustees. Lopön Ellen is not only an accomplished educator and author, but has also played a crucial role in creating 3 satellite sanghas, Tara Mandala sanghas, for her teacher, Lama Malayone, in Key West, Florida, in Ithaca, New York, and in Marathon, Florida. Lopön Ellen is particularly known for her deep knowledge and skillful transmission of the Dakini mandala and Singamukha, and I will add is both universally respected for her deep life of practice and beloved by us in the community. So dear Lopön Ellen, it is such a joy to welcome you. And for all of you joining us, please offer Ellen your warmest welcome as she shares her teachings and leads us in meditation. Thank you all for being here, for connecting and being the very precious threads of our community. Enjoy the session.
What a beautiful introduction. And it's so wonderful to be working with you again, Isabella. You have always been such a keen supporter of us as teachers and for all of us at Tara Mandala. So Isabella, you and Bodhi La, I know, are supporting me today, and I can feel that vibration right here in my heart. So welcome. I see lots of people checking in from different parts of the world. Please feel free to do that as we get started this time. And I think it's important for me at this time, just before Losar, to pause and honor Lama Malayone, my beloved teacher since 1987, and all that she's created these many years, from retreats and pilgrimages with her to this beautiful Lama Live that she's created and she offers to the world. And this blessing of our international community. I'm seeing people all over the world signing in right now, and I see a lot of dear friends as well. So welcome and thank you. And I think it's important also to honor right now all of the Tara Mandala practitioners and staff that are on retreat. One of my favorite things that Lama Tsultrim often says is that when one of us goes on retreat, we all go on retreat. So thank you. We are receiving the blessings of your retreat, and we offer it always to all. So thank you for all these beautiful sign-ins. Good to see you all with us today. And yes, if we're in that period leading up to Losar, which is next Saturday. So I want to share a few things with you, but let's start as we always do by raising the Bodhicitta. So I'm going to invite you to get into a comfortable meditative position, whatever way is comfortable for you in this moment. Just pause and invite yourself to be fully here in this moment. And as a way to support yourself in settling in, I invite you to close your eyes, adjust your sitting. Notice if you are upright, alert, but relaxed at the same time. Some of you may be lying down to receive, and that's fine too. Just tune into your body at this moment with ease and balance. This is a break that we can take with all that's happening in the world and in our own lives in this time before Losar, to just rest. Rest in our bodies, rest in each other around the world. And now draw your attention to your breath. You might want to take some full deep breaths. Feel into that sensation of the air filling your lungs and your chest. And feel the sensation of the in-breath and the out-breath. And with each out-breath, letting go, clearing, being present with what is right now. And as you do this, let your senses be awake. You might be aware of the sounds that are around you in the room or outside. I hear birds outside the window. And be aware of the sensations in the body. And bring all of your awareness now to your heart. Your center of awareness, the heart mind, Bodhicitta. So as we are about to enter the new year of the wood dragon on Saturday, take a moment to reflect on your intention for this time together today and in the days leading up to Losar on Saturday. You might ask yourself, what's really mattering to me right now? Listen to your heart. And then if you like, you can do the one-pointed mudra of offering attention. So our fingers all go back except the central two. Those are at your heart. And you make the aspiration to wake up for the benefit of all. We open our hearts in this field and time and space together of Lama life. We know and feel that we are all connected in this timeless dimension we could call Bodhicitta. So take a moment here to acknowledge the wise beings of your family, your friends, any teachers who've helped you on your way. It's a good place to reflect before the new year. I, of course, want to honor and acknowledge my beloved teacher, Lama Tsultrim and this incredible journey of life I've shared with her since 1987. And I invite you too to feel into your own culture, your country, your family traditions, acknowledging the wisdom that comes through lineage. And of course, it's important for me to acknowledge that I am sitting here on Lumbee land, unceded Lumbee land. And I commit to stewarding this land with awareness and gratitude. So take a moment now for you to acknowledge the land that you sit on with gratitude to the beings and to the earth. And I want to end this Bodhicitta with a beautiful message, a Losar message from Lama Tsultrim. As we enter the year of the wood dragon, may our hearts overflow with Bodhicitta. May our minds rest in awareness. And may our bodies serve the needs of sentient beings with joy. Lama Tsultrim. Thank you. May our hearts overflow with Bodhicitta. Yes. And how do we do that? What brings us to that overflowing state? One of the beauties is that the Buddha himself is said to have created 84,000 doorways to awakening. I love that number. And to think about, there's so many pieces of our journey that brings us to that state of awakened heart mind of Bodhicitta. So it was interesting for me this week as I was preparing for this talk that I kept hearing a word in my head, in my heart, actually more, in my heart mind. And that word was Mahasukha. Mahasukha. And I reflected on that. Why is that word coming for me right now? Why am I feeling that intensity? So Mahasukha is a Sanskrit word, and it translates to great bliss or great joy. Maha means great, translates to great, and sukha, bliss or joy. One of my favorite ways that it is translated as the great bliss of the awakened state. You know those moments when you feel fully awake, unencumbered? There's a feeling in those moments that brings us to that state of Mahasukha. And I always think of Mahasukha also when we think of the four immeasurables. The third immeasurable says that may all beings never be separated from the supreme joy beyond all sorrow. What is that supreme joy beyond all sorrow? Well, we could use the word Mahasukha, one of many of those 84,000 doorways in awakening. But one way to describe Mahasukha is that it's at the core of our being. And I always touch my heart when I say that, because that feels like my core. I bet it feels like that to you as well. So every aspect of our existence, this body, this place and time, this room that I'm in, and every experience, it's said to be permeated by bliss, by Mahasukha. It's the indestructible nature of our minds. With everyday life, of course, we have events and thoughts and challenges, and we find sometimes it's difficult to be in that awakened state. We can get caught up in those situations and not remember to rest in our true nature. And what I find so powerful is that there are so many ways that we can even take a break of thinking mind and rest in that state of awareness of Mahasukha. So in a sense, these different avenues, and I'm going to share my favorite one with you shortly, is what we do in meditation. In meditation, we're uncovering our actual state. And I think when I learned that years ago, that shifted a lot for me. Because, it's not like I'm doing something, creating something new. I'm uncovering what's already there. Think about that. It's always there. It's already there. And we can return to it, uncover it, trust it, be with it, even if it's just for a moment. So how can we tap into these feelings of Mahasukha, particularly when times are challenging? How can we remember? So for me, one of the ways that I have always found from the first day of retreat with Lama Tsultrim in 1987 is sound. Sound in Tibetan Buddhism is a very important doorway, one of those many doorways, or many of those doorways. So how do I do that? I remember going off to the retreat and hearing mantras and seed syllables. I remember hearing the first evening Song of the Vajra, and there was this part of me that thought, I know this song. How could I know this song? And there was this sense of being home. Like, oh, yes. And that retreat is when I was introduced to the Seed-Syllable ah. I just noticed a question here of the beloved teacher's name. Yes, it's Lama Tsultrim Malioni. She is my root teacher and my beloved. So The image in back of me here in this tanka is a Tibetan ah. And I like to kind of say that ah is something I keep in my back pocket. Why? Because I can pull that sound out and sound an ah to remember that which is already there. To just, even for a micro moment, to rest in that. So let's just do that for a minute. Take a moment to just settle. Take a deep breath in, and you sound an ah. You don't have to sound like me, any way you want to. Ah is such an interesting sound. Did you feel something in your body? Did you feel a moment of busy mind, thinking mind, story mind? Rest and just be present in that moment. Ah can be a sound we make when we see something beautiful, surprising, like, ah. It can be a sound we make when we are born. It's said that one of the first sounds that's made when we're born is ah, with that first breath. And there are times in that last breath that ah is the sound we make with the last breath. So ah can be those ah moments that we have in life. I had 2 this week that were just amazing. Earlier this week, I was driving home, and I live in a very wooded area here, and this beautiful red-tailed hawk sailed right in front of my car, and that's exactly the sound I made. It was so beautiful. And I thought about the wisdom of the hawk as the messenger. And here we are in this time leading up to Losar. And so for me, that was a moment to just pull over to the side of the road and be with that moment. Then 2 days later, just before this day, I saw an owl in the daytime. Heard it first, and this huge owl. And there was that set time when I felt, ah, thank you. Thank you for your wisdom. Sometimes an owl can represent wisdom. And it felt like a message to me again to take an ah moment and just rest. Do you have things that bring ah to you? And it's not necessarily animals. It could be slipping into a bath and going, ah. Or it could be a food that you taste and you want to savor and be with it. So if you have any opportunity to write into the chat some of your moments, I'd love to hear it. Sky says she ladybirds and wishing on them. Michaela said it felt like coming home. Yes, I know that. So while you're adding those, I'm going to sunrise moments. Oh yes, Mia. Chocolate, definitely chocolate. Skyscapes, oceanscapes, right? A warm evening when it's almost sunset. Eating my favorite bread. New blooms, yes. Like I found these wonderful tulips for us today. Coffee. Can be coffee for me too. So Bodhi, if you could show the image now of the I'd appreciate that. There's a beautiful image of it. Thank you. So the the Tibetan syllable is considered the primordial matrix of sound of the universe. It's the first sound and the last sound as part of our lives. But Lama Tsogyam will say that sound is central to all of the Tibetan healing spiritual practices. That these seed syllables, like the is the unity of compassion and wisdom. Thank you for that image. And that these sounds, she says, are calibrated to create a shift in the energy system. I think my favorite way that Lama Tsogyam describes working with seed syllables like is remembering a transistor radio. Anybody old enough out there like me can remember transistor radios? Probably do. So her description is perfect. That when we sound an or any seed syllable, we're tuning into a frequency of Mahasukha, of awakeness. So as we sound an it's like tuning an old transistor radio. I grew up just outside of New York City. Maybe some of you are familiar from those days. The big station everybody wanted to listen to was WABC New York and Cousin Brucey and the top hits. And so you would with that dial, and there he was. So I guess you could say that one way of looking at that sound is that we're tuning into seeing a shift of ourselves into being more of an energy system within a human body than the solid form. And so when we sound these seed syllables, we're tuning into or connecting with the vibrational qualities that are within us. But remember, we're not creating something, we're uncovering it. We're tuning to our light body and awareness, this quality of Mahasukha, our nature of mind. So why is that important right now? And why am I sharing that today as we're preparing for Losar? It's because can be considered a seed syllable of releasing, transforming. And we are in the week before Losar, which is Tibetan New Year on the 10th. And right now, this time is called the Dun system, or season, excuse me, the Dun system. And Dun is spelled D-O with the umlaut over it, N, but it's pronounced Dun. And this year, the Dun season began on Thursday, February 1st, and it'll end on Saturday, Losar. So if you wanted to translate Dun, you could say it's a clearing or a purification time. It's a significant time in Tibetan Buddhism that precedes Losar. Dun could be translated to obstacles or hindrances. So during this period, it's believed that any challenges that come up to the surface are opportunities for growth and transformation. So right now, this week is a great time for introspection. One reason why so many practitioners go on retreat. And you can do that yourself. You can take a day for yourself and just be not busy with the world, social media and all of the busyness. Even if it's half a day, even if it's just an hour. And what they say is that it's acknowledging some of the difficulties of this last year. And so as we do that, we're working to clear any negative karma. Recently, I was attending a wonderful talk that Dorje Lopön Charlotte offered. And she, I think, had the hands down best way to describe the Dun season. She says, it's the time when the dust bunnies of our lives emerge. This is not great. The dust bunnies of our lives emerge. So it's that those things that need to be cleared. It can be a time that people catch a cold. It can be a time when things need to be looked at that maybe were hidden away, like dust bunnies can be. And so this time of year is a great time to be gentle with yourself, take care of things, be mindful of things. And I do want to recommend that Dorje Lopön Charlotta will be doing a day-long retreat on Losar, which could be a marvelous time for you to welcome this new year. It's a retreat called Play of Words, the Practice of Right Speech. So I invite you to consider that one. I'm going to attend for sure. I know that it'll be marvelous. So thinking about all that, let's do a short meditation together. And Bodhi, if you could show the again one more time. Thank you. So take a moment and tune into what needs to be transformed from this last year. What's arising for you? What dust bunnies do you have, as Lopön Charlotta says? What is ready to be cleared and transformed? And then knowing that this sound is a sound of transformation. We're going to sound it several times. You don't have to do it the same way I'm doing it. Let it come out any way it wants to come. So imagine that with the rainbow around it. And remember that that's what's called a tigle, Tigle. So it's really more like the rainbow effect of a bubble. Here you see it as a flat representation. So tuning into this past year, imagining the at your heart and knowing its ability to transform obstacles. Let's sound the as many times as we like. As you sound the feel that feeling of the ahs pouring through your body like little bubbles, tigles of ahs. And now, together, after touching back into that state within us, we'll sound it together one more time and send that light from our bodies, rainbow light, multitudes of tigles, bubbles of ahs, out into the world. May it be of benefit. Thank you for your meditation. So that's something you can keep in your back pocket as we move into this time. Take breaks. When the mind's busy, and just rest. Just rest in your true nature. Thank you. So here we are, coming up on Saturday, which is Losar. And so traditionally we say Losar Tashi Deli. Losar Tashi Deli. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama says that this traditional greeting of Tashi Deli means, may you be happy here and now and achieve definite goodness. May you be happy here and now and achieve definite goodness. And of course, he's spoken about this importance of this time leading up to Losar. And it's a time to, as he says, try to strive to live a life of meaning, of focus on benefiting others. So this is the start on Saturday of the year of the wood dragon. So it's 2151 is the correct date in the Tibetan lunar calendar. And some of the things that I've read from different teachers say that this year of the wood dragon is a year of great potential and prosperity for the world. One of the things that I particularly connected to is that the wood dragon year can foster harmony, balance, peace in nature and in society. All things. Wood dragon fosters harmony, balance, peace in nature and society. So many years ago, I had the opportunity to be in Dharamsala at the Dalai Lama temple in McLeod-Ganj to see the monks preparing for Losar. And we have an image, if we could share it, of one of the altars. I love this image. There's that tower you see, are pieces, they're loaves of bread. And so I got to be there watching them with ladders, putting up prayer flags, building these beautiful altars and the offerings of these bread. So we probably aren't going to be doing something like that. Thank you for the image. But you can do things to get ready for it. It's traditional on the day before Losar, which would be Friday, February 9th, to clean your house. I know I need it. Maybe you do too. But in particular, it's a time to, if you keep some sort of an altar, to take everything off of it, to clean it in a very conscious way. Any statues, any candles, anything you have. It's said to be auspicious because we're starting this new year with a fresh start, eliminating obstacles of the previous year. And you might offer some fresh flowers, as I did here. You could offer a beautiful piece of fruit or a sweet. And it can be a time for hanging prayer flags. But here's my favorite part of preparing for Losar. It's something called star water. And if we could show an image, that would be great. This is my bowl of star water last year. It's an opportunity to prepare for Losar morning by making star water. Thank you for the image. So you can do that too. You take pure water and put it in a bowl. It's best to use glass or crystal or metal or ceramic. And you leave the water outside overnight. It receives the blessings of the stars. And it's considered a great blessing to cleanse ourselves, to wash our face with that water very consciously in that first early morning for an auspicious start of the new year. When I was on the board of Tara Mandala years ago, I was there during this time. And of course, we had a bowl put outside and we circumambulated and so on. And of course, being Tara Mandala, it was frozen solid. But we were able to get some water and enjoy that feeling of blessing. It also is a traditional time to offer butter lamps. You can do this at home with fresh candles or tea lights. Just a way of lighting the candle and making an aspiration. Set the intention for this coming cycle around the sun and the moon. So those are a few things that you can do. But here's what I want to do for the end of our time together. In Lama Tsochom's wonderful book, Wisdom Rising, she shares a powerful journey with the Dakini meditation. And I want to share that with you. I'm, honored to share it with you. And it is said that calling on the Dakini, and can we show an image of the Dakini, please, Bodhi? There's one of my favorites. We can call on a Dakini who are powerful wisdom beings that are associated with transformation and protection. And we can call on her for guidance in the Wood Dragon year. So I invite you to get into a comfortable meditative position. You can take the image off now, please. And let's take a journey with the Dakini. I just noticed a question from Marianne. It is the temple at Tara Mandala that you'll be able to see an image there if you go to their website. So you saw that image of a Dakini. So think for a moment, what is it that you're curious about this new year? Is there something you have some thoughts about in terms of preparing for this next year? Or questions about the year itself? So I invite you now to close your eyes and take a few deep cleansing breaths. And now invite a Dakini, like that image that you saw, or any kind of wisdom being you would like, to appear in front of you. Someone, this being you can have communication with about the new year. Let this Dakini appear before you, inviting her presence. And notice her color, her size, her density. Look in her eyes as she looks at you. Really feel that presence there. If you don't get a lot of detail, just feel a presence, an awareness, wisdom embodied. Now imagine that you're expanding the view and you see the environment that the Dakini is in right now. There in front of you, what kind of place is she in? What is the feeling of that environment? Is it a place you've been to before? You might notice, is she in a particular country or dimension? And notice if there are any sounds there. Any smells? Hmm. Now, imagine that this wisdom being, this Dakini, this wise being, takes you on a journey to a special place. You follow, walking behind the Dakini. You might notice what the path is like, how it changes perhaps as you proceed. Do you notice any smells or sounds here? What's the feeling of the environment as you walk along? And now you arrive at a special place that the Dakini is taking you. Take a moment to look around. Notice where it is. What are the qualities of this place that surrounds you? What time of day is it? Is there a particular temperature here? Sounds and smells. And you could even notice, what era is it? Is this present time? And notice too, does this remind you of any place you've been before? And how does it feel in this place? So now that you're here, here's your opportunity to ask the Dakini any questions you have. You can ask one or several. Any questions about this coming year, the past year, anything that comes to mind. And now, once you've asked your questions, if you like, you can imagine switching places or actually physically switch to a different place where you're sitting. And take a moment to become the Dakini. Take the seat of the Dakini. Settle into the Dakini's body. Notice how it feels to be in the Dakini's body. How does your normal self look from the Dakini's point of view. And after settling in the Dakini's body, answer the questions, speaking as the Dakini. As you have the dialogue with the Dakini in this way, as you hear the answers, if other questions arise, you can ask another and then return to the Dakini's body to answer. Mm. And when you feel finished, return to your original position in your everyday body and take a moment to feel the presence of the Dakini there in front of you, to feel all the help and wisdom and protection that the Dakini has offered you. Feel how she sees you and you see her. And now the Dakini turns away. And when she turns back, she's holding a gift for you. She gives you the gift. You hold it and notice the details of the gift. The Dakini then explains its meaning. And then this gift, with all its potency, dissolves into your heart. Notice the feeling of the gift inside you. And now see the Dakini in front of you. Look into her eyes and feel her energy pouring into your body. As you feel the energy of the Dakini entering you, it spreads all the way down to the soles of your feet, out to your fingertips, and throughout your whole body. Ah. And now that image of the Dakini just dissolves into light. You might notice the color of this light and feel that light dissolving into you, integrating this luminosity into every cell of your body. Take a note to feel this integrated energy of the Dakini in your body. And now you, with the integrated energy of the Dakini, you dissolve. And rest. Rest in the state that is present after the dissolution. Just rest. And now as you begin to open your eyes, maintain the feeling of the energy of the Dakini in your body. And then, as we always do, we dedicate the merit. And if we could show that image for us all, the dedication card. Okay. Having rested in emptiness for as long as we feel suitable, we dedicate the merit, the accumulation of all the positive energy that I and you and we all have generated through this transformation. May it be of benefit to all beings everywhere. Emaho. Mahasukha. So as we go into this time, remember that energy. Remember the gift. As we go about the rest of our day and in these days leading up to Losar, imagine that you are the Dakini, that everyone you meet is a manifestation of the Dakini. Remember the gift you received and that energy of being present. So as we come to a close here, I invite you to share anything people would like to share. I'm getting some images. Yes. I saw an image of a German Nazi soldier raping me. Maybe my grandma who survives Auschwitz death camp. A profound, deep cry and healing. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. The image, yes. Prashna Paramita. Yeah. Peace. Prashna Paramita, yeah. Singamukha. Yes, Hope. She often appears for me as well. Maho, and thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Well, we're just at an hour, and I promise to keep us on time. But know that I'll be thinking of all of you during this time that we are together as we're moving into this time of Losar. Be gentle with yourself. Offer to all beings and rest in your true nature. Mahasukha. And don't forget, keep that in your back pocket and use it whenever you need. Thank you for all your beautiful comments. I'm going to hand it back to you, my wonderful friend, Isabella La. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lopön Ellen, for guiding us through this beautiful session. We're deeply grateful for your life of practice and for what you shared with us today. May your wisdom continue to enrich our path. And a warm thank you to all of you out there in your very many locations. There would be no gathering and no community without you. So we really appreciate your engagement and we look forward to seeing you again. As we finish, we'd like to share some opportunities for you to further deepen your practice and receive teachings with us. On the weekend of February 17th and 18th, Lopön Robin Gale will offer a retreat entitled Integrating Shamatha and Vipassana, Practice Retreat with Guided Meditations. So in this retreat, Robin will explore with you how these two fundamental practices integrate and refresh each other within your meditation sessions, and how you can practice them seamlessly, either as preliminaries to a successful Vajrayana and Dzogchen practice, or as paths that alone take us all the way to enlightenment. On Saturday, February 24th, Dr. Larry Ward and Dr. Peggy Rowe Ward will hold an online Dharma talk, Rising Consciousness Along the Path We Walk Together. Amidst the unprecedented chaos of our times, this session offers a new sensibility for us to be walking as human beings on this planet with all species. Don't miss this transformative exploration. Finally, on Saturday, March 16th, we invite you to join us in connecting with the luminous compassion of Green Tara, the Tara Mandala Sangha, and your own innate awakened heart during the annual day-long practice offered by Dorje Lopön Charlotte Rotterdam. This practice is open to all who've received teachings on the Green Tara practice that we teach here at Tara Mandala, and we look forward to practicing together. Reminding you that you can always stay connected with Lama Tsultrim Allione through her Wisdom Rising podcast. Tune in for ongoing insights and engaging discussions with special guests. You can find the podcast on our website, Tara Mandala Network, or any of your preferred podcast apps. Last but not least, and following the tradition that goes all the way back to the time of the Buddha 2,600 years ago, you have the opportunity to make an offering of dana to Lopön Ellen Booth Church. Dana is a Pali and Sanskrit word that means generosity. It recognizes the precious gift of the teachings and the connection between the teacher and student. So this precious connection is something that without which we could not practice the Dharma. Bodhi is posting the link now, but if you miss it, you can always find the link to offer dana to Lopön Ellen or any of our teachers on the Tara Mandala website. You'll see a giving option in the menu, and if you click that, there'll be ways to give, and then you'll see a window for offering dana. So thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure to be with you today. I won't see you for the new year, so Tashi Deleg, happy Tibetan New Year. I'm hoping it'll be a year which brings you and all of us greater compassion, caring for all life, and peace. May we be mindful to support those opportunities when they cross our path, and maybe even create them ourselves. May we continue to gather and support each other on the path, and may all beings everywhere benefit. Thank you.
Om tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om tare tu re. Mangalam Shri